Okay.
Just a moment of silence.
Why is it cheap to have a party at a haunted house?
Because it's the ghosts.
The ghosts bring the booze.
No.
Not good.
I guess
There's
because
no
it's October.
like.
You got a couple of weeks to nail that. I mean, it's not Halloween yet, so we're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's October,
You're treating
right?
me
So
like a
basically-
ghost right now, though. Like, there is no interaction at all after I said that.
Excuse me, intro.
Whoa,
We're not want to
rogue
hear you
intro.
twice. Whoa, easy. I think this is haunted, right? We got some ghosts in the system, but it's another fantasy football show presented by Sports Injury Central. We are back. Hi, my name is Justin. Nice to meet you. We're here with Jacob and Taylor. Yeah, you guys are looking around like, what was that?
Is anybody nice?
I was
to meet
like,
you?
do I say
know,
hi?
it's
My
like,
name's Jacob.
I know.
Yeah, if you'd like to, that's one way to.
We've
intro
actually
yourself.
none of us have ever met before. This is the first time.
Yeah, we're actually we just kind of met at like an online mixer, but we didn't.
You want to
actually
talk
meet.
about, Justin, what you ate for the first time when we met together?
Oh my God, what was this? Is this where we're going with this? The
Yep.
podcast just
Yeah.
started. So
I
yeah,
just asked you a question. Yeah.
you young gentlemen are over in the great San Diego, and I had never been outside the Eastern time zone, and I was flown over there, and I just wanted to eat like Californians eat, and I ate some bone marrow, which is what I assume people from San Diego eat.
So I want to retell the story because that's not what actually happened. He got bone marrow as like a side thing to like some noodle pasta thing. So
Yo, that was so
normally
good, though.
people mix the bone marrow with the pasta because bone marrow is not something you eat by itself. So Justin had the
Oh,
really
unless you're a
cool
coward.
idea to wait till he was done his noodle dish to decide, hey, let's dive into the bone marrow. He had one taste of it. It was very, very salty because it's
Yeah.
an added bonus to whatever you're eating. So that's the real story.
I like how you said bone is very nice.
Oh, that's solid.
Get
Yeah.
it? Because it's bone marrow.
I
Okay, so
meant to
let's.
do that, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
no, you 100%.
Bone injury. There's some kind of transition
Yeah,
there.
we'll get in there. There's some people. I mean, there's some messed up bones going on out here, and we'll get into the injury rundown here in a moment. But week 5's in the books, and I think the landscape for fantasy is kind of leveling itself out. Players. I mean,
Don't jump ahead. Week 4 is in the books.
Oh yeah, you're right. This is a week 5 preview. Sorry, week 4 is in the books. So yeah,
we
you're
need a
right.
new
There's one
host,
more week.
maybe?
So forget everything I said.
He's
I'm gonna
skipping ahead
say-
already.
Yeah.
I'm going to say all this on next week's episode because I feel like we need one more week to really, declare Kyle Pitts dead as a fantasy football player.
Hey.
I already
just
got rid of
saying.
him.
I'm just saying.
Already
So you got
quit
rid
on
of him.
Pitts.
So you've
I
cut
quit on
bait.
Pitts.
You're out on the pit train, right?
Yep. And now he has a hamstring, missed practice Wednesday, so it's looking better and better. I don't root against Kyle Pitts. I'm just disappointed for him and how the Falcons use him.
I'm
It's
not
a
Not
block.
your fault. It's not your fault. Jacob, it's not your fault.
Thank you.
No,
I was-
but,
I was-
that's
yeah, I haven't been able to sleep. I really thought it was me.
No, the one thing I do want to say, I guess I'll have Justin present this for us. What was the stat I told you yesterday about Kyle Pitts?
Oh, he had
somewhere in there, yeah.
he had almost equally the same stats as last season. The first 4 weeks.
He
of
was
the
tight
season.
end 20 at this point. Sorry, I remember that. I was just trying to throw you on the spot. Tight
Yeah.
end 20, and then he finished as a 4 or 5 last year, correct? This year he's a 22. So obviously, question mark. You have no idea what he's going to do in the next, but the path to success is there, kind of.
I mean,
But last year we were saying that was because he was a rookie and he was getting used to the league those first 4 weeks. Like, shouldn't
And that's
that have been fixed?
That's the number one con to that stat.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not adjusting to anything anymore. I hope it's not this is his baseline, but like you said, Arthur Smith, so this is what I think might be different now. Okay. Cordo Patterson, key part of the offense. He will now miss the game. Miss 4 weeks, IR. They need to game plan for their 2 best people on the field, which is Drake London and Kyle Pitts. If you see another game when they're running 20 times with Caleb Huntley and Algier, then I really feel bad about Kyle Pitts. Not because I gave you him as tight end 1, because I feel bad for him as a person.
But
Like,
they're having him hanging the block to block for those guys who are not Cordell Patterson or not
he's not
Scordero.
even good at blocking. So I don't know what Arthur Smith's trying to tell me. Like Kittle, I totally understand
Yep.
why they use Kittle on the left side. He's a great blocker, and he stifled the pass rush for Trent Williams being out. Totally get that. Kyle Pitts will never be in that role. See what I mean? So the fact that you're saying that he's out there blocking too much, I know he is blocking, but he's not doing it effectively to enough that you're going to keep him out there and he's going to help your run game. He's very good he can line up as a wideout. I just don't see what the force behind stopping him from doing what he can do.
I feel like one of the most depressing things about this whole situation is if you watched any Atlanta Falcons starters out on the field during preseason, you're like, oh my God, dude, there's something here. They got something churning here. Like, this could be actually really fun. And then the season starts and they're like, oh, good thing we didn't use all of our good plays in preseason. And then they go to like this weird, I don't know what the hell's going on. Mariota can't throw the ball more than 10 times. I don't know what's going on. It's like really upsetting.
Yeah,
just go back to watch a couple tapes of preseason and just start doing that. Can we just get some of that going?
Yeah, like what are you trying to say, that your backup plays work better than the plays that you did behind? Like,
yeah,
like I understand that you're not playing the number one defense all game, but there's enough there that you saw. Like, there wasn't just like a shot in the dark. I think there was something there. So like you said, like it looks like a complete difference from what it was in the preseason, and that there's something going on there. I don't think it's just like you said, hiding plays or not utilizing their players. There's something.
You want to know something super annoying about that situation? They're tied for the lead in their division currently at 2-2.
Yeah,
like
and
they've
they
won
shouldn't
half
even
their
have
games.
two. They shouldn't have two wins.
Yeah, and it's like justifying their plan because they're like, oh, we're 2-2.
Well, it's their defense.
Yeah.
Deion Jones has been out with the shoulder, but they haven't had him all year, so they haven't really felt the loss of not having him. But they're doing well on defense, and they're super healthy. AJ Terrell is like the most disrespected cornerback in the league. He's a top 10 guy, and no one talks about him at all. Their pass rush is decent, not great, but decent. Grady Jarrett's an awesome run stopper. So they have pieces that make them enough to stay in the games. But their one stat that they do so bad, they give up leads 3 years in a row. It's not like, oh, this Atlanta team did it. No, the last year's Atlanta team did it. The last year's Atlanta team did it. It's just a problem about they this year they didn't do really well. I think you saw the stat. They're the only team that's 4-0 against the spread this year. So that, I mean, they're helping bettors win money. And we've even been on the side of a lot of those games too, because they're extremely healthy. So we've been on a lot of those games that people are like, oh my God, I remember week 1 with New Orleans. Everybody thought New Orleans. Remember Jameis Winston, Kamara, Thomas is getting better. Olave. I mean, they beat Atlanta by 1 point.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, they're in these games. So I don't know if it's a surprise they have 2 wins, but when you see their stats, you're like, Mariota only had this, like Pitts is doing this, but their defense is what's making it. And that's what it was in the past when Dan Quinn was there. So, I mean, they're figuring it out.
All right, let's get into the injury rundown before we get to our dudes and duds, my favorite segment of the week on any program ever created. But Jacob, let's go down. Obviously, it's awesome. Let's go to the injury rundown, see what's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on this week. Obviously, it's football. People are banged up by this point, week 5. So Jonathan Taylor out with the ankle. We think he's going to be good for week 6. That doesn't really help fantasy owners in the short term. That are playing him Thursday. Hopefully, you scoop them Naomi Hines or Philip Lindsay. Activated from the practice squad, may make his debut, Colts debut against his former team. We'll see. But another one, Rashad Bateman, dealing with a foot injury, DMP today in practice, but we're not expecting him to miss. I think Harbaugh said he expects him to play. We didn't really see much on video. Jahan Dotson's a big loss. I know I have him a couple leagues. Hamstring for a speedy wide receiver. He's going to be out a week or 2, probably more like 2. Everyone's hoping Michael Thomas can make it back. Alvin Kamara, I know, messed a lot of fantasy owners' lineups up, mine included. West Coast slept until 7 o'clock. Thinking I was fine, and boom, he's in a roster spot. He should be back with the ribs. Michael Thomas, we're not too sure on. Jameis Winston is a little more questionable. He's got the ankle, back, and knee, so
Macarena.
A lot to deal with there. Yeah. Traylon Burks, turf toe, probably not this week, maybe not next week, but you're looking at 3 weeks out. He might be fine.
At least on Liz Frank, which was what we originally thought.
Liz Frank would have been a longer absence, so turf toe's a little bit of good.
Dropping Traylon Burks because I did in one league.
I don't know.
I see a lot of people doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I just think that offense. There's like when he comes back, what is he gonna beat out? Like you got that Nickel. I'm not even trying to say his last name. I know it's Westbrook something. He's one of the best blocking wide receivers in the entire league. So why would they pass the ball? Robert Woods is good at both, but it's just like. I don't see he could beat both of those out easily. So like, just wait for him to return. Like we just said, it's not as bad as we thought. So, I mean, once he comes back, it's not like he lost time too much during the offseason. He learned the playbook. He looks like he was getting it. So I don't think it's too much, but I think
that's why people are hitting the panic button on him because they saw him kind of carving out a role and then boom, it's a setback. So maybe you're looking at midseason until he's confident again.
For context, this league was a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex.
Oh, so
I
there's
was like,
probably
my
so many
bench,
bench players
there's
that are
probably
better. Yeah.
players that I could hold on to and hope. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and wait a couple weeks to see.
Increase
nothing
your
happen.
bench size. I have an issue
Not
with
my
that.
league. Hey,
Come
not my
on.
league.
This is a
Not my
PSA for
league.
all commissioners. Just increase your bench size.
Because like I always see people's rosters and they're like, oh, should I start Bateman, Elijah Moore, this? If two of those aren't in your starting lineup, then who else is in your league? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's not even. To me, it's more. I like starting 3 wide receivers, and I also prefer like at least 2 flexes. So I like the deepness to come from your starting lineup, and less so your bench. So you can start more good players as opposed to just having to pick and choose. I like to go a little deeper on the bench and take flyers on people, but. In that particular league, if you're in a league similar to that, I think you're okay with dropping Treylon Burks.
Well, shout out to your leftover, Josh Reynolds. Good decision. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to the lines.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Of course.
I didn't want to. No, I didn't want to ruin anything else. But like, I respect your Reynolds move. So I wanted to Reynolds wrap it up for you in a present for you.
I appreciate that.
Just finishing up the injury rundown. We have a lot of other info at sixscore.com. You can follow along with articles all week, tracking the practice statuses and who we think is going to play effectively through injury. Daniel Jones is not one of those that we expect to play effectively through his injury. Left high ankle sprain by video. They play against the Packers in London. He might suit up because Davis Webb is the next option with Tyrod Taylor in concussion protocol, but a lot of people are trusting Daniel Jones for his rushing ability, and he's not going to have that with that ankle. So that makes him a sit. Mac Jones is the other one.
You don't want to start Daniel
direct
Jones
snap Barkley,
Yeah.
or you know what? This direct snap Kadarius Toney. Everybody, okay?
Oh, it's if he plays, man. They hate.
If
that
you keep
guy.
willing into this existence, it's going to work out one week.
I mean,
that's where you're
put
at.
him in the lineup some way. I mean, I
Eventually,
didn't
he's
ask him
gonna
to
be
throw the
all they
ball,
have.
but
Yeah.
I think he's still dealing with a hamstring. We have to double check on
yeah.
that. But I mean, if it's not him, who else is it? Wandale Robinson?
I mean,
The
He
Giants
could be.
are a
He's
complete
out
mess
with
right now.
his
Yeah.
knee injury. So I mean, no, there's Davis Sills. Is it another David
David
Sills?
Sills,
Yeah,
yeah.
not
David
Davis. There's so many
Sills,
Davises right now. I'm getting confused.
David Sills and Davis Mills. I want that.
And then
combo.
Galladay just went out with the MCL, so there's not much there at all.
Not that Galladay was fantasy relevant, anyways, but yeah, it's just another
Does he have
blow.
no catches,
salary
right?
relevant.
I think he might have more drops and catches. I think I'm making up that stat,
So-
but
no,
it
but-
sounds right, which is the problem.
Which is the
I
issue.
choose
No,
to
absolutely.
believe it.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I believe it for sure. Are you going to say this last one here? Because it's quite disrespectful.
Yeah, I wrote it down being bold, but why not?
Yeah.
Tom Brady, he's got the finger injury, shoulder injury, and the injured marriage. So it's just
Yeah.
A little TMZ, little TMZ.
little
action.
TMZ, yeah,
Ugh.
little salacious rumors. Who knows? They're hiring divorce
Yeah.
attorneys. But anyway, that's a different podcast.
That's a battle, though. I'll say, because they both have money. Like both lawyers are probably looking at each other like, this is scary. Like they're both like, this is like Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers kind of matchup, right?
I mean, they're gonna both leave that with still a lot of money. I think they're gonna be.
I don't
just
even
fine.
think that's the issue. It's about spending time with your family. I think it was something.
Oh,
something
family.
Like that.
What's that?
Yeah. What? Yeah. Football.
what you're
It's the
talking.
F word.
It's football
F word. Yeah.
season, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah.
All I can say is in dynasty leagues, trade for Brady because he's playing till 52 automatic.
Wow.
50,
Yeah.
55.
Yeah, what's he got left holding him back now? He's just.
I'll
gonna-
take the over under on 52. Yep.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Huh?
I don't know.
50. What is he? Where is he right now? 47.
You can throw out any number and I'd say yeah.
Coming into the
Avocado.
season. Didn't he kind of like? They didn't say it or confirm it, but the assumption was this was going to be his last season. But was that just?
Well,
to
it was
appease
supposed
his
to
then
be,
wife?
but
A
now,
lot has changed.
Yeah.
A lot.
Like his life has changed.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. So one person. Well, I don't think we really mentioned it, but old Javonte Williams out for the season.
Yeah, I'm just sad about it. I don't want to bring it
Gone.
up.
Do you have him in a couple leagues?
No, but I wanted him in every league.
Yeah,
that counts.
I did too, but I never
It's
got
just
a share of him.
ACL tear is one thing, but to
LCL is
hear it
scary.
be multi-ligament and just see what Dobbins is coming back with, and he looked explosive in that one game against the Bills last week. He had a couple
Couple
carries,
touchdowns too.
but that's his ceiling for the next 4 or 5 weeks until he's full 100% on that knee. So you never want to see young guys about to break on the scene like that go through a multi-ligament tear.
It
Yeah,
sucks because it's like week 3, week 4 is so like that's probably when he's returning next year, if not later.
Right.
It sucks. Yeah.
all right. Let's get into dudes and duds.
Dudes and duds.
Here we are.
It's fine.
My favorite segment of the year, and I guess I'm gonna start it because it's inevitable. We have to get into it, and I honestly can't hold it back any longer. I'm gonna crown him, possibly due to the year. I don't know. I'm going all in.
You
on
only
this
get one
bandwagon.
selection of that, Justin. You know,
Yeah,
think about it.
He's definitely nominee for Dude of the Year for me, and I can't stop. If you've listened to any episode of this podcast, I won't shut up about him because whatever reason,
or learn his name.
Or ruining his name. I love ruining
Good
the
call.
man's name. But I'm talking Jared Josh Goff. All right.
Still
He's
said
a
it.
freaking straight up dude, especially this week. Coming into it, like I, as possibly at the forefront of this bandwagon, I'm not going to say I'm a leader. I'm sure there's others out there like me. There's literally dozens of us.
I hope not.
There's literally dozens of us. No, but coming into this
They're
week,
multiplying though.
literally at the end of the week, we saw DeAndre Swift disappear. Amon-Ra St. Brown disappear. DJ Chark disappear. And everyone's like, I almost pivoted to like Geno Smith, which actually wouldn't have been a bad pivot. But I held true and I stayed in. And if anybody else did, they reaped the rewards of Jared Goff's 378 yards, 4 touchdowns, with basically just TJ Hawkinson. and I guess our leftover last week, Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, go ahead, pat yourself on the back. You
Yeah,
threw him
that
out as a leftover.
I know.
solid
I
allow
that's why I'm like was giving you credit before. You needed it. I couldn't wait till now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it escalated as something like obviously, you saw something going on with Amon-Ra St. Brown, so I didn't think the DJ Chark thing kind of caught me by surprise, and then you realize it's literally just him and Hawkinson out there. Yeah, it's going to be a high scoring game.
Hey, you're ruining my dude.
Oh, I mean, I'm
Look
just
at that.
saying. I didn't want to
Where am I,
infringe, but
dude?
I'm just saying that's who's out there. So I'm happy with the Goff experience, and I'm ready to ride it for the rest of the season.
I just want to say Jared Josh Goff. You almost made me say it. 11 touchdowns, 3 picks on the year. He's averaging 280 yards a game.
And leading the most explosive offense in the NFL.
They're fun. I like the Lions being
That's
fun.
Matt Stafford, who? That's what I'm saying. If we're comparing the two, are we still doing that or no? I mean, Stafford got his championships.
I mean,
Yeah,
Stafford's got-
that's why I'm just like, don't do
it's
that.
weird.
I mean,
Can't really do that.
compare Russell Wilson or something. You know,
well,
like-
yeah, we've
But
listen.
Now's the time to compare him. Stafford's got 4 touchdowns, 6 picks.
so compare him when he has a bad
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
Yeah.
And don't compare him anymore.
And they're doing that too, which is gross. But I'm like,
Revisionist history.
stop doing that. He got a championship. Everybody
Yeah.
who's a Rams fan,
Super Bowl hangover is real.
They did it. They got their
Yeah.
ring. What are you mad about? Anyway, that's my dude, and he'll never stop being a dude. I probably will never nominate him again because he's ascended beyond this dude category.
If he's your
like
dude of the year, you can't nominate him
he's
week
a
after
dude-
week. You know,
dude
he's
of the
just
year.
dude of the year in your heart. So we'll just know that everyone
yeah.
will know that and just secretly judge you in the background.
That's 100%.
Anyway, my dude, San Diego State legend Rashad Penny, in that same game broke out 17 carries, 151, 2 touchdowns. He's only got 292 rushing yards in the year. Hadn't beaten 66 yards in a game before, but he looks explosive. I mean, the injuries are a constant thing with him. It's obviously injury related on the podcast, but I don't know how he could sustain that huge frame. I mean, in college he wasn't that big, but now he's a hulking figure, soft tissue machine. You just hope he can stay healthy. I mean, he's really made Ken Walker irrelevant, and I got to admit, I did draft Ken Walker as the handcuff because I did expect a soft tissue eventually. But for now, he's my dude of the week.
Yeah, no, Rashad Penny looked awesome. Obviously, that there was literally no defense played in that game at all. Seahawks and Lions.
I'm a fan of no defense.
Yeah, see, and that makes for fun. Obviously,
Better
fun
than a
fantasy
10-7 game. Come on.
Yeah, it's better than
Run
watching
it
the
up.
Panthers game,
Don't
which
you
I
like
have to do every
baseball?
week. What?
Jacob?
Yeah, that's a good offensive game in baseball.
No, I mean like you would love a pitching matchup though.
I do.
Yeah. See.
I don't like a pitching matchup in football though.
No, that's
Like a-
I'm not like,
Sacks.
oh yeah, 7 sacks.
Like you love ties is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
get it.
soccer. What sport are we talking about today?
What do you mean?
talking about American football.
Someone
Uh,
tied this year.
Taylor, what's your dude, bro? Let's get the.
You mentioned him already. Hawkinson. The one I like the dude part because like he jumped from 13th ranked tight end to 3 in one game, which is a pretty big jump. He had 179, 2 touches, 8 catches. Like you said, there wasn't much for Goff to throw to without Ra and I don't know why I said Ra. There's so many different names I can call
Rah
them.
rah.
Amon St. Brown, you went for Ra.
Ra and Chark. Ra and Chark. Definitely, I'm doing it again. They both that like you said, the Chark was an interesting one. That would make anybody just get off Goff, but Goff like got better with that news, weirdly. So I'm glad
It's
he's
inevitable.
in. A lot of people have drafted Hawkinson really early in drafts. They finally got something out of it, so it's good for them. But I'm not really thinking this is gonna last, guys, but I'm excited.
I was just gonna say I don't know how I feel about all of our dudes being from the same game.
Yeah. I mean, the game was explosive, so I mean, that's what you get. You're gonna have a game like that where like the point total is almost 100.
There's
right?
gonna
That's
be a
crazy.
couple dudes in there, right?
Like the Lions play the Pats this week. Maybe Amon-Ra back. Probably not Swift. So we'll see if that continues for Jared Goff. And the Seahawks get the Saints, so that's definitely not continuing.
Yeah. So you're a Hawkinson owner. Are you selling high? I mean, like, he had to have Amon-Ra and Chark and Swift all out.
That's a good question because he was kind of middling before this game.
That's the one thing with Hawkinson that I wasn't really too high on him this year is that the weapons increased around him. You're literally about maybe 5 weeks away for Williams thinking about going on the field and playing being okay. So like there's going to be more and more weapons.
Williams.
Yeah, Jameson Williams. So like
there's a lot of Williams. Sorry.
Yeah, a lot of there's way too many. I'm so sorry for that. But yeah, that's an issue. Chark has been doing good this year. St. Brown has been amazing this year.
He's just raw in our minds.
I know Swift. Okay, can I say something? I'm getting upset about Jamal Williams. I love the kid. There's no way he's this good. Like, I'm sorry. This is insane.
Why not though?
As a Packers fan,
he's not this good.
Former Packer. Come on, that's slander.
No, I understand the touchdowns. He gets them more often than not. He's very good at short range. He's scoring from like 30 and 40 and 20. Like this is not his game.
I think that might be more a sign of their offensive line being probably.
I was going to say, yeah.
Like you could probably put Peyton Hillis out there right now, and he'd put up a hundo.
No,
that might be the only guy you couldn't do. Toby Gerhart.
No, both of those guys are the same. I don't know. Whatever.
We'll get back to you on that.
The offensive line's really good. No, I totally understand. They actually have dealt with injury, so it's really not that good. They're on their third string right guard. Their left guard's been out for 3 weeks with a finger issue. Ragnow's just came back.
Increasing though.
Yeah.
So Jamal Williams doing all that with that out, it kind of makes even less sense to like what you're saying. Agrees with what you're saying because
makes no sense.
It's a conundrum.
That's why I'm waiting for it to die down.
So no, my what I've kind of and my heels every week dig in deeper on not only Jared Goff but the Lions offense
just Lions in general.
We're getting to like almost. It probably is better because there's more talent than this team, but I'm thinking like the Bortles Jaguars, where the defense
he just retired. Rest in peace, or no, whatever we say. Yeah, thoughts and prayers. I don't know.
But no,
enjoy your retirement. One of those.
But it's not even. It's Bortles used to put up crazy fantasy stats, but it was mostly garbage time, and because they were down by a lot. This offense is really, really good. And their defense is really, really bad. So it's like it honestly is like the perfect storm of fantasy goodness, and I'm ready to buy in on any Lions player I can find if the deal's right. Like
I'm gonna have to think about the Hawkinson so high though, because the tight end landscape is just so weird right now. I mean, you got the top two, Mark Andrews and Kelsey, just perform every week, but then other than that, it's just random.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to own a Colts tight end if you sell high on Hawkinson?
Hawkinson's probably the one I would probably sell, though. Honestly, I would sell him because, like you said, the tight end landscapes like that. Anybody who doesn't have Andrews or Kelsey would be like, oh man, I'll take 179 and 2 touchdowns,
right?
And see what you can
price
get.
For him
and then you just go back to tight end disparity, but you just made another position really good. So we'll see how that works. He could be a good throw-in to upgrade a position that you might be a little iffy about.
That's a good point. If you could turn him into a running back. Wide receiver, then why not?
For sure. Somebody that's going to give you a little more consistency, because I think you right now just give up on trying to find consistency outside of those top 2 tight ends. You're just not going to find it. Dudtown, USA.
Dud it up
here. I'll take. And we talked about Javonte Williams getting hurt. The next in line, Melvin Gordon. I'm calling him a dud, obviously from last week, but his first 4 weeks this season.
Can I say something right before this?
Yeah, go.
You might have done a dud that might change into a dude next week. I'll put that in there.
I mean, if you want to stake your claim, the dud.
I just did.
Dude. I think a lot of people, and I know this is a tough time to even put him in this category because he has ascended to a starting position with not a lot of competition, but he also just got benched for fumbling for the 4th time in 4 games.
And that's not new. That's a known thing for him.
Yeah, so
they're mad at him last year for it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird spot. I mean, we're talking Melvin Gordon. I don't know, was he like 29? He's approaching 30. I'm not saying Mike Boone's the dude. I'm just saying that backfield's scary, and I don't know that I want any part of it. Like they're like putting in fab bids for Mike Boone. I was not. I don't know if you guys were in on that. I did not participate in any Mike.
Yeah,
Boone activity.
actually got word that might not be the move. He's not really good at pass pro, so he's not even going to be out there much anyways. And he couldn't catch the ball at all at the end of the game. So I would just wait and see what Gordon does and go from there. I mean, I don't know if the fumbling issues are going to be that frequent like in the beginning of the season, but I don't think you should be wasting money on Boone. Especially they practice squatted Latavius Murray. I'd rather have Latavius Murray over Boone.
I think Latavius Murray could be somebody that would fall into the leftovers that might actually wind up ascending to the job. I'm just not in on. Obviously, Melvin Gordon has been there, and he's gonna get the load per se, but I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think he's gonna fumble. I mean, he's just doesn't look good.
Are you really going to trust him? I mean, I think that whole offense is scaring fantasy owners in general. I mean, Sutton's really the only week-to-week performer. It's not Russ. It's not Jerry Jeudy so far.
I will say, if you have Gordon and you did not have Javonte Williams, seek out the Javonte Williams owner. Like I just did it this week. I had Gordon on my bench because I waited a lot on running back in one of my leagues. He was on my bench. I paired him with Ayuk, and I wound up getting Christian Kirk, which I feel like obviously Kirk it's tough to say that name and feel like you got to win. But if you look at what he's doing in Jacksonville right now, he's getting the work. So I'm actually happy.
He was paid as a number one receiver this fantasy, so that's what he's acting like. Yeah,
getting targeted in that way. So I'm happy to do that trade. So if you can do that, and like Melvin Gordon wasn't really making an impact on your fantasy team anyway, I'd say now's the time to sell before people actually see he's not that guy. He's not that dude.
My dud could also be a dude. I know a Thursday game heavy, but Michael Pittman, disappointing. 6 targets, 3 catches, 31 yards against Tennessee, who's given up the most touchdowns of any fantasy defense. I think he turns into a dude this week. I mean, with Jonathan Taylor out, who knows? As I'm saying that, I'm remembering that Patrick Surtain exists, so maybe not. But
Surtain's really good at football.
He's very good at football. Yeah.
So
Matt Ryan,
hopefully not another dud week, but we'll see. There's just no one else in that offense. Jonathan Taylor being out obviously hurts him, but it's not like they're gonna just turn around and hand the ball off to Philip Lindsay 18 times like they do Jonathan Taylor. So
that's why I like Nine Hines. I know he usually gets receiving work. He should be getting a lot more receiving work. Like Matt Ryan can't throw the ball like he could throw a baby farther maybe. So I mean he needs to be throwing to the running back.
Checks that.
Yes. he needs to throw to the running back more. Like Nine Hines is very elite at that too. He's not a nothing guy. So Philip Lindsay is definitely a good little, like, you put a smile to your face. You're not going to be like having another bad running back there, but I know they have Deion Jackson, but don't put him out there. So it's good that Lindsay's there, but I wouldn't expect him to go off or have a good game yet.
All right. Who's your dud, Taylor?
My dud is Derek Carr.
That's a little close to home, don't you think?
Yeah. So what is the point of getting Devontae Adams if you can't even throw 200 yards this year? I mean, this game. I mean, I understand it's the Broncos, but Surtain didn't just stop Adams, okay? The whole team didn't do anything. You already have 13 incompletions. You're supposed to be accurate. So need to figure out what's going on there.
All of a sudden, Josh Jacobs is the offense?
Josh Jacobs is the offense. And the fact that Josh Jacobs is a better player than Carr, there's really big issues because, like, Jacobs I don't like him at all.
But he was dude material this week.
Jacobs was definitely one of the, him and Sanders were my backups. They both had really good games that I didn't expect, which is, I think, remember I told you it's kind of a dude thing. It's out of nowhere would be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has enough weapons there. You got Darren Waller. You gave him all this money. If you can't throw 200 yards and also not in a game that they stopped us. I know Jacobs did well. We scored 32 points. Jacobs had 2 of those. So there's a lot more points that are not Derek Carr related. So I don't know if this is Josh McDaniels' fault. Right now I'm blaming Carr because it's 1 week, but if it's a multiple week thing, it might be both of their faults.
I just want to clip this part of the podcast and just keep it on my phone for a long time.
Doc just put his phone out. I thought he was recording me. I was scared for a second. No, because I guess disclaimer, I'm a Raider fan, but I'm a Raider fan right now. But right now I am a Raider fan.
Right now, I'm ready to
this week.
This week.
Yeah, no, but I
didn't go on 4, so
they need to figure out what's going on because you paid everybody all this money to have a passing attack and you can't even get 200 yards. That's dud as I can get.
Oh, we ragged on Taylor enough. Let's get to the leftovers.
Yes, Leftover times. Again, if you were listening last week, you could have found a little gem there. It won't always happen, but it can happen though. These are people the waivers have run. They're left over on your waiver wire.
Make
They're
sure
free
he doesn't
agents.
clip himself this time too. Okay.
Oh, it's 100%
Remember
going to
that?
be me.
Yeah.
What I'm saying right now, you guys are going to. Thanks for watching the podcast.
It's gonna be you slamming Derek Carr for 5 minutes. That's gonna be a clip.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. It looked painful in your face. I could see the pain.
I mean,
it hurt.
I got Derek Carr socks at home, not his socks, but like him on them. So we're fans.
All right, Jacob, let's run down these leftovers.
All right. First leftover is Teddy Bridgewater. He's stepping in for Tua. Not very owned, but he's got to be one of the better backups in that league, and that offense is explosive. I mean, Jalen Waddle's groin is a little bit concerned. Might have re-aggravated at the end of the Bengals game. We'll follow his practice reports this week. But you're stepping in. How many backups step in with Tyreek Hill, the leading receiver in the league, to throw to? I mean, it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, not even just that. I mean, Waddle obviously is great. Whatever, the husk of Mike Gesicki's still running around out there, I think. And again, I mean, like you can. That's
what?
The husk of Mike Gesicki. Anybody who's still talking like Gesicki's still relevant.
No, the one thing about I remember reading about him, he was a weird case because when McDaniel came over with that offense, they were like, oh, he can turn to the Kittle like straight line because Gesicki's kind of like that. The thing that Gesicki can't do is block, which Kittle can do. So you can do his straight line stuff with Kittle, but he's also out there to block and help the run scheme that McDaniel brought over to Miami. So Gesicki hasn't been able to block since he was at Penn State, and he hasn't learned that in the years he's been in this league. So
it's interesting to play tight end when you can't block.
No, and that means you're basically a receiver, so you're only going to be out there for receiving plays. So that's why he has less than 5 catches, 4 catches, 3 catches a game because he's not being utilized because they don't need him. And like you said, they have Tyreek now. Even once they get Cedric Wilson, he's been dealing with toe, hamstring. He's a great little fast, speedy guy that Dallas used last year. So there's targets are going to be less and less frequent for Gesicki going down the road.
I know we talked Falcons a bit. Caleb Huntley is the other name that has been popping up on, not the waiver wire, but the free agents available still. I know everyone snapped up Algier if he wasn't owned already. I think he's like 64% owned now. I saw on Sleeper.
Don't do this.
I wanted you to say that because
this guy's a third guy. He only got 10 carries because Patterson couldn't finish the game last week. He's been a career 8th string running back. So he scored
a touchdown.
I know. So did every single running back on that team. I mean, Algier maybe didn't, but he had 86 yards. He had
84 yards and 10 carries. Yeah.
So they had
that was the Browns.
Yeah, 200 yards. Rushing.
Browns without 4 of their front 7, which we showed on the field view. And follow along the website. You can find those kind of advantages. Also the 6-score page. But
who are the Falcons playing this week?
They play the Bucks.
Yeah,
no. So
yeah,
they're not doing that on Vita Vea.
They actually, they have back-to-back weeks of really bad matchups on the round, which is again, please throw the ball.
And that's what I have a thing with waivers too. I like when people do week to week, but really you want to like find a guy that's going to be part of your at least bench or like an option week, every week. You don't like streaming week to week means you have a roster spot open in your team. That sucks.
That's not good. Yeah.
It's not great. I understand some people do draft like that and they have a little opening. Oh, I can pick someone all the time. But some leagues, they only have 100 FA, the fab budget. So you can't be doing that.
Don't waste it on Caleb Huntley.
Yeah. So especially when you're trying to get the hot guy every week, you're going to not have your 100's going to be gone after a couple weeks. So, I mean,
well, let's talk about an investment then. You told me this guy and I have him in my league, Khalil Shakir.
Yes.
For the Bills.
I like watching kids that crushed it in school at like semi.
Where'd he go?
He went to Boise State. So semi-decent big schools that can produce long, like Jalen Tolbert, I've been talking about for a while. Just Dallas isn't using him enough. He did go to South Alabama, which I'm saying, though, in this kind of argument, I would take Shakir right now over Alabama because this kid didn't have an opportunity because they were waiting for Shakir later on, but they didn't expect McKenzie and Crowder to both get knocked out in the same game.
Yeah, Crowder with the ankle fracture.
One actually got knocked out.
McKenzie with a concussion. Yeah.
But no, like they both lost their 2 slot guys. This is a slot receiver. He is made for this. He's super fast. He's cuts well. Diggs and Von Miller, one of the other players, top players, like captain on the Bills.
That's right. I remember that.
This kid's ready to go. He's good. He was already going to be, like I told you, this is a dynasty play, but now it's not. So we really think Crowder's going to be out for a while. McKenzie maybe gets limited this week, maybe he plays. But right now they're not game planning him in the lineup. They're game planning Shakir in. So he was a 1,000 yards receiver, super good. Didn't care who the quarterback was at Boise State, never were good. He's an elite player, And if he can translate over to a decent, like you're getting 6 catches for 60 from him, that's awesome. Like he's a good. I like him.
Well, he has a clear path to playing time. It might be a 50-50 shot of who grabs the opportunity between him and Isaiah McKenzie. So that's a safe bet. He's only 5% rostered in sleeper right now.
That's
So
why I don't like that roster thing so much. Like those roster things, like why am I so in love with the dude that's less rostered than anybody? You know, like is it me? Like Kenny Pickett for me should be rostered a lot more.
I think part of it is people like just click on the trending thing and then you see like, oh, everyone's picking this guy up. Let me pick up Caleb Huntley too.
Yeah, that's how it usually. That's why it's there. No, that's definitely supposed to help people.
What's a different way you're thinking about it too? Am I picking this guy up to play this week or as a potential flex if 2 guys are out, or am I picking Khalil Shakir up because I think he could burst on the scene in 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now?
There's 100% like. Oh, sorry, Justin.
No, I'm saying as somebody who has Isaiah McKenzie, I wish everyone would just leave him alone. All right, like the Jamison Crowder hype was like, oh man,
everyone just wants to bury him already.
I know you're right. I already told you Crowder too. No,
I'm like McKenzie. All right, he might have a little opportunity, and then he gets a little concussion, and then all of a sudden you're talking Khalil Shakir like he's the next best thing, and I'm like, dang man, just let my man McKenzie breathe.
Like that's how stuff.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert has a job because of an accident with the lung. You know what I mean? Like there's ways to get in. Alex Smith got an injury. He was gonna easily come back, but Kaepernick came. Kaepernick was there, so you don't go back to stuff like that. I'm totally not saying McKenzie's been there for so long. He understands that offense. I totally don't. Like, honestly, Crowder is the one that has the worst injury, so that's the one. Honestly, drop him. It's between Shakir and McKenzie now. But I always think McKenzie is such like a gadget player. He does the end arounds, you know, he's very good at that. That I don't know. It's just like,
do you think maybe they know what they're getting out of McKenzie and they don't know Shakir's ceiling yet? So they might be more inclined to figure that out midseason.
Let him run routes and stuff because like you said, McKenzie knows the system enough that he can do the trick plays. Like that's knowing the system. Right. So Shakir, just like they said, let him run like 50% routes, you know, and see what he can do. And if he gets open and stuff, and he has a decent game, target, you know, everything, then he might have a staying power going forward.
One more leftover. Sorry, go ahead, Joseph.
Isaiah McKenzie, a touchdown 3 out of the 4 games he's been in this year.
Oh, that's why you got him. You got him because he's a slot receiver and one of the top offenses in the league. You've definitely, I just I told you, he doesn't get enough playing time. So like those touchdowns he gets
50% snap.
Yeah,
50%
it's
snap,
crazy.
Not great. Yeah.
No, you definitely. That's what I'm saying. Shakir's the kind of kid that might not score as much like that, but he's going to be on the field a lot. So I mean, that's something to look at, especially with the low number that you like right now. It's our leftovers for a reason. You can find this kid there right now.
One more leftover, and then we'll get to the shootouts and droughts. Felt kind of gross typing this name, but you know, bye weeks are coming up. Maybe you need a quarterback. Kenny Pickett, 24% rostered. Just took the Pittsburgh starting job, going against the Bills this week. Probably not a streaming option this week.
Why do you feel gross?
He threw 3 picks in like 8 throws.
Peyton Manning threw 3 picks in his first NFL game.
So Kenny Pickett's going to become Peyton Manning?
But it's temper expectations. What's it called? Actually, for me, this number should be higher. You guys really thought Trubisky was going to have the job any longer than 5 weeks? Like, come on. Like, Pickett was drafted in the first round.
He was drafted in the second round. And that's open.
The first official second round.
That's how I hedge my bet. It's one of those two. No, but either way, he's a high draft pick. They're going to use him. Watch the offense get better. And all those picks that you had, Deontay Johnson could get better because this kid can throw down the field. Trubisky, we saw that stack graph a week ago. There was nothing. It was like 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. Like he's going to, it might take a couple games. Like you said, not the week to start him off the bat, but you might have a decent starting quarterback going forward later.
Tell me who's the biggest upgrade is for Najee Harris, Pickens, or Deontay Johnson?
Pickens and Johnson. Harris, I think
it helps them. They can't stack the box because they know Trubisky can't throw the ball. Kenny Pickett can throw the ball. You can't stack the box against him.
Yeah.
I think I want to see more before I make that declaration because
I think Pickens more. I think because he's a downfield. He every Pickens catch you saw was when Trubisky finally threw it past 20. You know what I mean? Like because Pickens is not.
And he had to make a play because it wasn't a good throw.
Yeah, and he's not a yak guy. He's not like catch it and run down.
He's not a Debo.
He needs he's like Galladay was back in Detroit. He can jump over you and catch it and like beat you down the field like that. So I think that helps him. Deontay Johnson looks like he's QB proof. He had Roethlisberger on a broken arm. Like old, not
still put up numbers.
I think I might be more concerned about Deontay Johnson if you had to pick of who I'm more concerned about in that offense. Because
that's fine. You're allowed to have your opinion.
If you look at his stats from last game, I've seen it. I've seen it. I have him in a couple leagues, and I'm like, man, that was pretty disappointing. But obviously, that they didn't come in with the Kenny Pickett game plan. So
That's what I'll say to you.
Right.
That's hard for a wide receiver to adjust to two quarterbacks within a game. I'll tell you that right now.
That's fair.
I mean, the Steelers are 31st in yards per game and 29th in passing yards per game. So,
but the weird thing is,
you can only go up from here.
Ready
right?
for this? As expected, though.
Yeah. You can only go up from here. If I'm a Pittsburgh fan, you should feel excited about the offense, not hesitant because you don't know what you're getting out of Pickett. You know what you're getting out of Trubisky, and it wasn't good.
It just sucks because the one thing that you didn't want Pickett to go into, which is why Trubisky was there, their offensive line is terrible.
Yep. They did not invest in it at all.
It's a 30th to 32nd ranked. It's It's one of the 3 lowest offensive lines ranked.
That's what, as much as we're bagging on Trubisky, you have to acknowledge that fact.
Did you see how many points the Steelers are getting in that game against Buffalo?
14.
14.
That's pretty good. That's a
And
significant
people are
amount of
asking,
points.
but we're still taking the Bills, right? I think that's everyone's mindset.
Probably. That's a lot of points, but yeah, probably. Yeah. It just seems like a lot.
I don't like lots of points.
I mean,
0-6 without TJ Watt. That's all I got to say.
That's fair. That guy's pretty good at football.
I'd be 0-6 too. Are you serious? TJ Watt.
That'd be over my lifetime, yeah. All right, let's get to shootouts and droughts. Biggest shootout and drought. Maybe Carr has a chance to redeem himself. Monday night, 51.5 is the over-under for the Raiders-Chiefs game.
Oh, primetime Carr? Don't worry about it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, primetime Carr.
He's going to hear what you said.
No, definitely. Like whatever I just said about an hour ago, discredit it. It's all BS. Raiders. It's like you just put up here. It's the top over/under in the of the games slate this week. Chiefs are down McDuffie. They're number 1. They've dealt with it a little bit, but they can score on them. And then Snead is dealing with injury. If he can't do that, then we need to start Jared Sudfield. Or what's his name? Stidham. Yeah, I don't want to know his name. Yeah.
Nate Sudfield was a couple.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
A couple years ago. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not that serious, but it's a game that there should be a lot of points. Mahomes has found a way to score so many points with no wide receivers at all. Like that's one of the I was talking with you about. If I had an all bust team, just put Chiefs wide receivers as one of them because there's not one of their wide receivers. Juju has been terrible, and I really thought he'd be decent this year. Van's Scoutling. If Rodgers threw him like 9 times deep, Mahomes is doing like 3 of them. So they're barely connecting. McCole Hardman, I know he's done with that heel. He had the heel ankle. He sucks.
No, you're not wrong.
Expert analysis.
That's the one thing that's really unfortunate about him is that I think everybody in the fantasy atmosphere has thought this kid could do something, and it's been this guy's been gone. Now he's the number 2 because Sammy Watkins left. Oh, Tyreek Hill's gone. Can he take more things? Every single opportunity that is presented, it was like, oh, we lost number 2. You can be the number 2. Oh, we lost number 1. You can be number 1. He can't do it. He just can't do it.
He could be a middling number 3 though.
He's honestly like Isaiah McKenzie's better than McCole Hardman. Okay,
I agree with that. I agree.
No, and I don't even think it's a big take. I don't know why I got so excited about it. I booked such an easy take.
We're gonna get a lot of hate for that, but
look at your waivers every week.
No hate.
What I'm seeing now on the waivers is it's just the dropping of the Kansas City fringe wide receivers.
Because now you have to pick one per game. If you don't have Kelsey, which you do in our 6-score league, good job. But if you don't have Kelsey, then who are you? It's Scandling's he's gonna catch like a 60-yard touchdown because Mahomes will get it to him. Schuster's eventually going to have – he did have, I remember week 1, I think week 1 or 2, he had like 6 catches, 80 yards, whatever. But it's like none of that. Sky Moore is literally lost in the sky.
Wow.
Whoa.
I think the only one still hanging on most rosters is Juju, and that's just because he's Juju.
You have to. He's the best one. Scanling's a boomer bust. Literally, that's what he's made for. And then Hardman should be on the waivers.
If you're to the point in DFS where you're looking at which wide receiver to pick, just rearrange your roster. Just go a different route to give yourself more money.
It's crazy. It's like the Patriots room. Like it's Devontae Parker going from 150 to like 8 yards. You got Jacoby Myers getting 13 targets to like not being able to play through his knee issue that we don't necessarily know about. So then you got Algahar who like just decides whenever he wants to play. So it's just it's a mixed bag wide receiver room on a really good team, which is interesting.
We're getting to bye weeks. Some people might have to make that tough choice. We'll see.
No, and that's what you're going to dart throw, and hopefully you're good at darts.
In a bye week, if you're in a pinch, I'd throw one in and just pray, right? You just see what happens. I mean,
do you want to be on recording and pick one? Do you want to pick one?
Not right now, no. I don't
okay.
No, don't make me do it now.
All right, just making sure.
All right, these next 2 games all have the same over-under. We're each going to pick one, and we think is a shootout or drought. I think it might just all be the clear Sunday night game, Bengals versus Ravens, but Eagles Cardinals is also same over under 40.5, and so is Falcons Bucks. We talked Falcons Bucks a little bit, but
I think you're right. I'm looking at these. Eagles defense is supremely good.
Oh yeah, that 48.5 is definitely skewed heavy towards the Eagles. The
Is
Eagles
there
are-
Call of Duty multipliers this week? I always gotta check. I
Oh,
never
no.
thought I had to check that, but you gotta check to see if there's like these multipliers and
well,
stuff.
Darius Slay's playing. He was a forearm contusion, and Mailata had the right shoulder injury. Didn't come back to the game, but our Pro Football
Smalo
Docs
with the ankle too.
believe he can come back and play. Same with Samalu. So don't get scared of your Eagles. Start all your Eagles, Miles Sanders included, because the Cardinals' run defense is not good.
Terrible, yeah. Falcons Bucks. I think they secretly both have really good defense. I think we were just seeing. I just saw it on ESPN. They've only gave up 17.6 points a game. The Bucks. I know they've been playing. I mean, it's crazy because they can't even score 10. that's why.
Right.
That's why they're not
That's
doing.
the rough
That's why
part,
they're
yeah.
not doing great. But their defense is not the issue. Todd Bowles is a defensive coach. Obviously, he's got that defense playing really well. Even without Akeem Hicks as a run stopper, they lost Ndamukong Suh, so they're dealing with their 1Bs, whatever. But Vita has been awesome run stopper. Davis, all their bunting, they're all great at the cornerback position. So
we
that's-
talked ourselves out of the other two. It's the clear Bengals
I think
Ravens
it's the
game.
one you
So
pick,
no,
and
so
yeah,
what's weird is
go on.
right now I don't know what it is. I have a weird feeling that the Baltimore Ravens are going to smash this week. You know what I mean? I feel like of the other two, it's clear that the Cardinals are the worst team and the Falcons are the worst team. I think the Bengals are about to get rolled. And I don't
So
know
in
why.
six score on our site, the Ravens have a 17-point disadvantage. So I don't
Right.
want you to be on record and thinking you should take the Ravens.
It's more like a gut feeling.
It's a
strictly
six-score
like a gut
podcast, so we gotta
feeling,
make
spiritual
sure.
thing. I don't know what it is. I just feel like the
Same
Ravens,
you feel about Josh Goff.
Yeah.
Josh, my boy Joshy Goff.
Maybe things that don't make sense happen. I mean,
Right. You know what I mean? It's just like you got
Yeah.
a little inkling. Like you said, it's. I don't think the Bengals look good.
I think they're getting
everything
better.
everything on
I think they're getting
paper
better, though.
says the Bengals are going to absolutely destroy the Ravens. The Ravens have
Right.
8 sacks on the year. Justin Houston has 2. He's not playing.
But they've forced a lot of turnovers. They've got a lot of turnovers.
That's something
and
that's not sustainable. You
it's not
can't
sustainable.
Keep on
but
doing
that's
that.
They-
Yeah.
neither.
With all
is
those
my
turnovers,
logic
they've still
here.
given up the third most points in the
Yes.
league.
The one thing I will say that's against Justin, because everything we
Yeah.
should be saying is against Justin,
Right.
is their offensive line sacks is decreasing, and that was the one big issue
Getting
with them.
better, yeah.
The left tackle was the only one that was incumbent from last year. So they had 13 in the first 2 games. I think they had 2 week 3. I don't know exact numbers, but it's getting better, and I think it's not gonna get worse. Collins is dealing with his little back issue, but he's been playing through it. Kappa's look really good. Their new guard.
Yeah, 1 sack last week against the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's going down every game, and so if they give up 0 next game, that would make sense in the stat things. But just in general, I wouldn't put anything that the Bengals are getting better. They've been without their middle linebacker Pratt for 2 games, knee injury. He will be back this week. He was full practice today, so Wednesday as we're recording this. So I don't see what you want to do with the Ravens there, Justin.
Okay, so here's the thing. They're the number
Yeah.
6 scoring defense in fantasy right now, and they've given up a buttload of points.
Oh, absolutely.
So it is, like you said, it is like a crapshoot. It is kind of like a roulette type situation. If they can continue to get
Like
a
if you
turnover,
think
maybe
no,
score
put
a
your
few, that's
logic.
it.
Like you think the Ravens, you're just like, oh, the Ravens are going to smash. Cool. Well, the numbers say the Bengals are going to smash. So I guess
Right.
that's the over is a good play then. Right?
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Like this,
Yeah.
I still think their most points are going to be scored in this game.
Okay.
I just feel like we're going to come out of this game and be like, I'm personally, I just feel like the Ravens, I think, are going to win, and I feel like it's going to be like the Bengals are going to be scoring a lot of their points in the second half. I don't think it's going to be close, really.
I got you.
Either way, it's
I don't
going to
know
be
what it
fun.
is.
I'm excited.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm excited for a good football game, but I mean, yeah, the other games, it looks like there's a very clear, like, I don't want to watch the Cardinals play football anymore. I've peeked in on a couple of their games.
I
It's
love
not
Marquise Brown though, so I'll
Marquise
continue to
Brown's-
watch the Cardinals.
Marquise
But I
Brown's
don't
a lot
want
of
to
fun.
see him do it. I just want to see my
I
fantasy
want to
points
look
go
at
up.
his stats when it's done.
Yeah.
And
See
be
your
like,
thing
oh, good
tick
game.
up and
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And just like the Falcons, I don't want to watch because I know I'm not going to be happy.
Be disappointed with Kyle Pitts another 4 targets. Yeah.
No, imagine that Falcons fan that they're guaranteed to give up 6 leads every year
That
in a
hurts,
17-game season.
Like, don't
That's
be
nuts.
a fan anymore, bro. Pack it up. Move
Yeah.
And
somewhere
it's-
else.
you can't throw Matt Ryan under the bus anymore either.
Move to
Oh,
Charlotte.
you know what? I know
Yeah.
a Falcons fan who swears Matt Ryan was not like he wouldn't even pick him as like top 3 quarterback for the Falcons, and I'm like, dude, just
Ever? Like ever?
all time. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
who he's putting.
It's
obviously,
literally it's
That's trauma based.
It's literally Vic Ryan and Matt Schaub.
Yeah,
Those are the
he
3
hates-
Atlanta Falcons quarterbacks
He
ever.
literally
right
hates
there.
Matt Ryan, and I'm like, dude,
You
I
can't
put
hate-
down his. Yeah, if you look at
You
his,
can
his,
hate
like,
him all
his
you want.
stats,
He's one of the top Atlanta Falcons quarterbacks ever. He doesn't
all-time
need to do
passing
anything
leader,
else.
like
Yeah.
like wins, yards, everything. Like, and he
Vic
didn't win
just
an
beats
MVP.
him because like Vic will change the game.
Yeah.
Arguably, Ryan was better statistically.
Vic was fun though. That was
Vic, he changed the game. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Game changer. He changed Madden forever. 100%.
Favorite Madden. Yeah.
Oh God. All right. So I guess that's it then, right? We got to shoot out Droughts in. Anything else before we head into Week 5 besides my my undying love for Jared Goff?
Yeah, Matt Ryan has 9 fumbles this year. He's only lost 3 somehow. That's
They're
kind of
bad.
an incredible stat.
Did you hear
Shouldn't have that
Naheem
many in
Hines?
general though.
Did you
9
hear
fumbles.
Naheem Hines talking about the quarterback revolving door? How they were like, every year we got a new quarterback. We're doing
Yeah,
something
he's
different
right.
every year. It's like
He's right.
no,
ever
he's
since
100%
Andrew
right.
Luck,
Yeah.
there's been a different one every year.
Was it-
Yeah.
Shout out
Was it
Andrew Luck. He got out at the right
Rivers,
time.
Wentz, and then
Ryan.
Matt Ryan. Yeah,
Yeah.
every year.
It's
They're
because
like,
you
just-
hear about them though. They're not nobodies. It's the team trying to get them to go.
Get a
week to-
name, yeah.
and they're not hitting on them. Rivers was decent, but
When's
that
the last time they drafted a quarterback?
Luck, or no, what's the
No.
kid? Sam Ellinger, and
That's right.
And the other one, there's another one too.
Yes, there is. I don't know. his
We'll get
name.
back to you next week.
Yeah, next
Oh,
week with
Eason.
those.
Eason.
Oh, yeah,
Eason.
Jacob
I
Eason,
got
yeah.
you. Don't. I didn't need to. I didn't look. My hands right here. I didn't
That
look
was
it up.
pressure.
I didn't look it up.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Very nice. All
But
right.
those
well,
aren't those aren't starting quarterbacks though. They didn't draft them to start. So if you want to
No,
argue
no.
that they weren't, they were drafted to be backups.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They're like,
so.
please do show us something.
Save money.
and
Yeah.
be good. You want to just trade for Jordan Love? That's the move right there. Maybe.
Yeah,
Jordan
but
Love's
you
good.
know that guy has zero value. You know that.
All right, let's get the heck out of here. We'll be back next week to recap Week 5 with our dudes and duds and all the fun bits that we
Alrighty.
do here. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I call them bits, but
You gotta.
They're
you gotta
bit-ish.
I gotta hit the
Yeah.
button and get out of here, right?
Bit
That's what-
adjacent.
end the
yeah.
recording. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one. See you next week. Best of luck in all your Jared Goff adventures.
Ball 64 on Twitter.
Choose your adventure book, Jared Goff.
It's a W every time.